Hello and welcome to this evening's South Today, a slightly different South Today, because tonight we're looking at air quality. Air pollution is the single biggest environmental hazard to human health. So tonight we're going to take a bird's eye view at pollution across the South, looking at the problems but also trying to find the solutions. Should we do it? It may look clear, but the air all around us is full of tiny particles, particulate matter or PM. You may have heard of PM10 and PM2.5. The number refers to the size of the particles. And the particles are really, really small. PM10 is about a fifth of the width of a human hair. PM2.5 is about a 30th of the width. Because the particles are so small, they can get deep inside our lungs, and in PM2.5's case, even enter our bloodstream. Now, when it comes to air pollution, the statistics really are quite stark. According to the Royal College of Physicians, 500 people a week die from the effects of air pollution, and the cost to all of us is £27 billion. So where's it all coming from? Well, some of the particulates come from burning fossil fuels, from burning wood and coal, exhaust emissions from vehicles, another source. Pollution also comes from industry, construction and demolition. In the home, it's cooking and heating and some cleaning products. Now, while there have been some improvements, are we doing enough to clean up our act and our air? Well, I'm back on terra firma, thankfully, but I'm still up high. We've got an eagle-eye, bird's-eye view here across the marina here, Ocean Village, from our vantage point here at the Harbour Hotel. Southampton, like so many other towns and cities across the south, has some real challenges when it comes to air pollution. Let me take you around. You might be able to see the Itchen Bridge over my shoulder there. Busy old bridge, bringing traffic in and out of the city. Southampton Water, of course, you might be able to see a cruise ship disappearing off into the distance there. We've got cruise ships and cargo freight coming in and out. And on the other side of Southampton Water, Fawley Oil Refinery, which only today had to apologise after an unscheduled incident involving smoke and a release. On the way, a plot twist. We'll tell you the best and the worst places when it comes to air pollution and the news of the day. First, though, let's just pause and reflect on the impact of air pollution to human health. Here's our health correspondent, Alistair Fee.
Kelly,
Hello.
how you doing?
Not too bad, yourself?
It's been 2 years.
It has. It has.
Let's see
indeed.
the new house then.
Yeah, come on in.
So, how was the house move? Because last time I saw you, you were packing boxes.
Yeah, so it actually went smoother than what I thought.
I'm in Waterlooville, visiting a family I've not seen in a couple of years. They moved here from Portsmouth because 20-year-old Lou was struggling with her asthma in an urban environment.
Tony Louise is a little bit formal.
It is a bit formal, isn't it?
Yeah. And when I get told off.
So, Lou, when we were last talking, you were being admitted to hospital fairly regularly. What's happened since then?
I've actually not been admitted since I last saw you. So my lung capacity is getting quite good.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I can go on more walks now because I don't feel as breathless when I go outside.
This was Kelly and Lou 2 years ago, near their former home in Portsmouth.
It's disgusting, isn't it? When you're stood this close and through the build-up and, you know, you've got people walking past with their baby's lungs has got to breathe all this in.
At that time, Lou was being admitted to the Queen Alexandra Hospital up to 4 times a year with her asthma.
It says it all, doesn't it? We're underneath the trees, clear, lovely, beautiful smelling air.
And this is 5 minutes from your house?
5 minutes from the house, yeah.
They now live less than 10 miles away from Portsmouth in Waterlooville. Lou hasn't had any long stays in hospital since moving out of the city.
I think I can just do lots, and it makes me happy because I can dance 5 days a week and not get sick. And I can go to college and not get sick.
Portsmouth's Queen Alexandra Hospital sees hundreds of young people every year with breathing difficulties.
We do see exacerbations within the hospital that are related directly to the fact that people live in Portsmouth. It's a highly densely populated area. We know that it's got a dockland. There's major roads around that mean that air pollution is a significant problem, and it's one of a number of environmental factors that can contribute to exacerbation of asthma.
Portsmouth City Council says the problem is being addressed through its clean air strategy and is confident that real and lasting improvements to air quality and public health can be achieved across the city.
It was daunting, but absolutely worth every move that we made. Brilliant for the pollution, brilliant for the air environment. Definitely know we've done the right move, without a shadow of a doubt, yeah.
Well, joining me is Faye Cordero from the University of Portsmouth. Faye, you're a professor of environmental pollution. We can't understate the effect air pollution has on health, can we?
We really can't. We know it affects our lungs because we're breathing it in, but it affects so much more. Our lungs are connected to our circulatory system, to our blood, and therefore particles can get across from our lungs into our blood, and it can affect our heart disease, strokes, even things like Alzheimer's.
Where is all this particulate matter coming from? What is it?
So the particulate matter is coming from multiple areas outside, but a lot of it is coming from traffic, so from the engines from cars, but also from the tyres and the brake pads, but also from industry, agriculture, even the trees, pollen and things like that.
Now, we commissioned the BBC Data Unit to come up with the best and the worst places in the south when it comes to air pollution. Worst was in Oxfordshire, just north of Banbury, and that was directly related to traffic. It's no surprise.
Not at all. Most of the air pollution is coming from traffic at the moment, particularly in urban areas. And you see next to roads is where the highest concentrations are.
And we have to say, Cherwell District Council told us that they are putting measures in place there, a 40-mile-an-hour speed limit to try and reduce air pollution. The best place, I've got to tell you this, Dorset, between Lyme Regis and Bridport. We also asked, though, about a link between deprivation and air pollution, and there is a link. Why?
So most areas of deprivation are next to main roads, near industrial centres where you'd have pollution, like we can see in Forley, but also areas with less deprivation tend to be places where you have lots of wind, open areas, and therefore the pollution escapes. In areas of deprivation in inner city areas, there's a lot of built up and the pollution just gets stuck.
Faye, for now, thank you very much indeed. More from Faye to come. Well, I wanted to try and find out what my exposure to air pollution was. So we set up a little bit of experiment, which involved a bicycle and some help from the University of Portsmouth. Right, I'm going to try a couple of things. The first are these microscope slides with this pink jelly on. That's going to go on the front of my bike and capture any particulates and pollen. The other thing I'm going to do is wear this, because this will measure PM1, PM2.5 and PM10. So 9 miles each way at different times each day for the next week. I monitored the air I was in. Not exact science, but it might help me understand what I'm being exposed to. One week later, I'm at the University of Portsmouth to find out the results.
Oh, interesting.
Round 1,
Okay.
between 1 and 3 p.m.
First up, the jelly slides. Under the microscope they go. And look at this, full of fibres, dust, soot and a whole host of particulates that I'd cycled through and possibly inhaled.
These are tails of liquid splashed from a diesel engine. Definitely, it's black. And probably unburnt carbon from a diesel engine just splash on the slide.
And coloured by the jelly.
All of the pink blobs that you can see, these are all pollen grains. So this guy here is a pine pollen grain, and then this here is a beech pollen grain. It's considered an aeroallergen, so some people react badly to it. If you have hay fever or asthma, it can be really irritating for people, really quite bad in some ways.
Next, the air monitor. It showed higher exposure to pollution earlier in the day. This is because of the atmospheric boundary layer. Think of it as an invisible lid.
In the mornings, the boundary layers are close to the ground, so more pollutants are trapped close to the ground. So if somebody with a COPD, asthmatic patient, they don't want to travel out in the morning.
But then, here's the twist.
The indoor pollution is more severe than its outdoor.
Unknown to me, the air monitor had continued sampling throughout the day, at home and in the office. Unbelievably, it showed for some types of pollution, indoors was worse than my commute.
Outdoors, the pollutants are there, but they've got the room to disperse. Because of the atmosphere, the environment, they could disperse more. Whereas indoors, they stay confined for a longer time.
Adjusting the times of day and the route of my ride in and out of work could help cut my exposure to air pollution. But when I get there, it seems the great outdoors could be the better alternative. Plot twist. I did not see that coming. Faye, indoor air pollution was worse than outdoor air pollution. A different type though. Talk me through it.
So what you saw is a high level of VOCs, which are volatile organic compounds, and that was impacting the indoor air quality.
So what does that mean? Where's that coming from, the volatile organic compounds?
So volatile organic compounds, or VOCs for short, they're chemicals that contain carbon, and they easily evaporate at room temperature. So the sorts of things that you would commonly use might be cleaning sprays, hairspray, things that start out as a liquid but become a gas quite quickly at room temperature.
Vapours from furniture, from carpets, that sort of thing?
Yes, so the cleaning products tend to be short-term spikes that you'll get a high concentration of VOCs, but long-term exposure comes from things like furniture, which have got adhesives and things, and they're slowly off-gassing throughout their lifespan.
And does it still have the same health effects as we learned earlier, the VOCs?
So it still has impacts on our lungs, but many of these are actually carcinogenic, so they're slightly different types of health impacts.
There are particulates in our homes, and those come from burning things, don't they?
Same as outside, where it was the combustion engine. It's inside when we burn gas or when we burn scented candles or even things like incense. They are all producing particles in our air.
Okay, what can we do then? How can I stop my air level pollutions being so high in the house?
So for VOCs, using low VOC cleaners, but ventilation is key. Obviously, if you're near a main road and you have pollution outside, try not to bring that in, so open the windows when it's not rush hour, etc. But ventilating to allow the pollutants out. But dusting with liquid rather than dry dusting, so we don't breathe in the particles.
And outside, is there anything I can realistically do?
Yes, you can move where you travel. So if you, instead of travelling down a main road, like one perpendicular, but there are things around timings. When it's windy, actually there's less air pollution than when it's calm and still. Or if it's just rained, a lot of the air pollution will have come out, so maybe go for your run then.
Thank you so much for joining us here on The Sofa. Plenty more to come, of course, here from Southampton, but right now let's get the latest news of the day with Sophie.
Thanks, John. Good evening from the studio. Could a tourist tax be introduced in some of our towns and cities in the south? It's one of the draft bills contained in the King's Speech and announced in Parliament today. Our political editor, Emily Hudson, has been examining the detail.
Well, Sophie, there's 37 bills in here. None of them really a surprise, but many of them will affect people in the south. Let's run you through a couple. The Police and Reform Bill, which will create new, larger police forces in England. We don't know the shape of those yet. A Clean Water Bill, which will merge the functions of the existing water watchdogs. And of course, that will be of particular interest to the customers of Thames Water. They want to make it simpler, the government, for privatised water companies to be monitored. Also a common hold and leasehold reform bill, which will ban the sale of new flats under leasehold, and an overnight visitor levy bill. Now, this is basically the tourist tax. It enables mayors and the leaders of strategic foundation authorities to charge visitors who stay in a self-catering apartment, a hotel or a B&B a certain amount of money which can be ploughed back into local services. BCP Council, Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole and Oxford had asked for this. £2 they were talking about per night. Now, this doesn't say it will be able to be local councils who charge it, but there's still a push for that.
So this money will be ring-fenced specifically for tourism. We're seeing it work already in places like Manchester and Liverpool, where they've introduced certain levies. And like I said, it will be there to support the services and the promotion of tourism that we need for our local areas.
So a lot of announcements today in the King's Speech, but perhaps overshadowed a little by rumours of a leadership contest, Emily.
Yes, of course. Today was the first day back at school feeling for the MPs after a break, but it was anything but a holiday for many of them. It was obviously recess for the local elections when many of them found their parties were absolutely hammered at the polls, and every corner of this building today has had conversations about whether or not Sir Keir Starmer will face a leadership challenge. Now, today, no other Labour MPs from the region have come out and said he should resign or set a timetable for departure, but there have been some who've been very forceful in their condemnation of colleagues who have.
Doing reform's job for them. You know, we need to wake up, smell the coffee, and Nigel Farage doesn't get to choose on the back of some local election results who the Prime Minister is. It's that simple for me. So, you know, whoever candidate comes out tomorrow, I think they really tonight probably have a good strong look in the mirror and work out if they really want to plunge the country into a little bit more disaster.
Rumours, of course, that Wes Streeting, the Health Secretary, will be throwing his hat into the ring. It's been another long day in politics, Sophie, and I think tomorrow will be the same.
Our political editor, Emily Hudson, thank you. Next, details of the independent review into maternity services at University Hospital Sussex NHS Foundation Trust have been announced. Parents have spent the last 4 years calling for a national inquiry. It will be led by senior midwife Donna Ockenden. Today, she set out what the parameters of the inquiry will be. Mark Norman reports.
Today, I'm meeting Katie and Rob in their new home. I first met them back in 2022, just a few months after their baby daughter Abigail had passed away.
It isn't that the pain has reduced, really. We still miss Abigail with everything that we have. And the loss, as we've said many times, is compounded by the knowledge that she should be here. But what is different is that we have fought for her.
For other families to reach out and to contact us after Abigail's inquest. Heartbreaking that there were so many other families.
Those families came together and formed the Truth for Our Babies group. Last month I watched them react to the announcement that they'd got what they wanted. Senior midwife Donna Ockenden was going to lead a review into maternity services in Sussex. Now they have the details of how that review will work.
I think having spoken to the families in the last day or so, they feel a huge sense of relief now.
It's what we've been fighting for and it's what we know is necessary, but it's also nothing that is related to the death of our daughter is ever fully positive.
University Hospital Sussex has welcomed the review, and in a statement it said its thoughts remain first and foremost with the families, that it will endeavour to provide the safest possible care for mothers and babies, and has implemented many positive changes in recent years. And they hope the review will add to new ways of making our services better and safer still. Campaigners now hope that families will finally receive the answers that they've been seeking. Mark Norman, BBC South Today, Chichester.
In football, Saints fans are off to Wembley for the second time in weeks after Southampton won the playoff over Middlesbrough last night. Saints came from behind to win in dramatic fashion and will now face Hull City next Saturday, May the 23rd, for the chance to win promotion to the Premier League. But the club's still facing an EFL charge over spying on Middlesbrough before the first leg of their playoff games. Southampton says it's conducting an internal review. Time to head back to the rooftops of Southampton to rejoin our environment correspondent John Cuthill for his air pollution special. John, it looks glorious up there. What's next?
Yeah, Sophie, welcome back to our rooftop view of Southampton for our special programme looking at air pollution across the south. So far we found out the best and the worst places to be here in the region when it comes to air pollution. I had a bit of a shock plot twist when I found out the air pollution inside my home was worse than outside while I was cycling along a main road. Still to come, we've got some solutions for you. We'll tell you how scientists are using trees as a way to monitor air pollution across the region. But first, if we want to change our air pollution, first of all, we've got to find out how much pollution there is in the first place. So we set Alexis Green out and about to find out how it's done.
The main source of air pollution in the UK are local emissions, such as road traffic, industrial processes, heating and agriculture. On a windy day, any pollution that builds up from traffic will be blown away. But on a calm day, particularly in winter, pollution can be trapped at the Earth's surface. I've come to Southampton to a ground-based air pollution monitoring station to meet the scientific officer for the Environmental Health Department at Southampton City Council.
Here we have the top analyzer, which is ozone.
Yep.
And then the middle analyzer is nitrogen dioxide. And the bottom analyzer is sulfur dioxide. This monitor here monitors benzene. Benzene comes from petrol products, like petrol motor cars, and also from the local oil refinery. And we pass the air through these tubes. And then every 2 weeks, we send off these tubes to the laboratory. It's a very important site of the city because it's part of the government's national network. The automatic stations are very expensive. The analyzers are in the thousands of pounds. They're quite big, so we can't put them everywhere. Whereas the diffusion tubes, they're quite cheap. We can put them up on lampposts outside people's houses, and we've got about 80 in the city.
We breathe in oxygen, but we also breathe in small amounts of other gases and particles that can be harmful to our health. I'm off to meet a scientist here in Reading at the European Centre for Medium Range Weather Forecasts. The way I like to think about it is it's like the UK Met Office, but rather than forecasting weather across the UK, it forecasts air quality across Europe.
Air quality in the UK is regulated by the European Directive.
There's two main ways we measure air quality. Satellite observations, which are broad-scale global observations, and then you have local observations. In the UK, which you can see up here, we are mainly affected by local emissions, but we do have impacts from global situations. Here we're looking at different aerosol types. We've got winds blowing across the Sahara, lift up desert dust and evect that up across the UK. And it's also combining with the forest fire emissions that we can see up from Canada. The smoke that rises up into the atmosphere hits something like the jet stream and gets evected right across the Atlantic, affecting the UK.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? How dust and wildfires around the world affect our air quality here. Sarah Farmer is on the way with the weather forecast of the day. And we will also find out more about air quality right now. Because how do you have a more natural approach to measuring pollution?
Trees, nature's purifiers. Capturing pollution particles on their surfaces while absorbing gases through their leaves. Scientists now think tree bark could reveal the level and type of local air pollutants. So could trees replace air monitoring stations?
Normally we use these expensive pieces of equipment at really limited numbers of locations and base what sources we have and what people are exposed to based upon just a few locations. We can do this anywhere there are trees. So we're able to get a much bigger spatial picture of what real people are actually being exposed to.
The samples of bark are taken to laboratories at the National Oceanography Centre in Southampton.
In here, we are looking for organic molecules in this lab. So we're looking for markers of wood burning, we're looking for markers of car vehicle exhaust signatures, and see exactly what compounds we've got and how their amounts vary.
There are hundreds to thousands of different organic molecules that are present. So we simplify the sample by passing them over columns, which you see here, and those fractions are more easily and readily analyzed using our instrumentation. Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah, all good.
So this is what some of the results actually look like. So each one of these different peaks is a different compound that we've been able to detect in our sample. It tells us what compounds we have, and it tells us how much of these compounds we have.
Analysis from Treebark has successfully tracked pollution levels across the city. The work is being rolled out further afield with ambitious future plans.
So the aim is for us to then take this method and go around the UK and see in different cities, how is pollution travelling, who is exposed to it, are certain communities exposed to different types of pollution. Any pollution source leaves behind different fingerprints in the environment. Trees are there collecting pollution for us. Anywhere there are trees, we can look at what markers have been left behind.
Sarah Farmer, BBC South Today.
We've been blown around and soaked today. We better find out what the weather's up to. Sarah Farmer.
Well, yes, it has been quite blustery here. We've had low pollution levels in Southampton today, and it's forecast for the next few days to stay low as well because of those winds whipping things up and dispersing things from ground level. So a blustery few days to come. Let's have a look at those weather forecast graphics for you. We're expecting some gusty winds, yes, and some heavy showers at times as well. There have been a few of those around today, haven't there? The last 24 hours or so have been pretty lively. There were some hefty downpours through the course of the overnight spell and on into today as well. We've seen all weathers here today. It's been sunny at times, but we've had some showers. We've had some hail in the mix as well. We're really getting blown around too. So as we take a look ahead through the course of this evening, we are expecting to see some more of those showers. It will be quite cool. The wind's easing off towards the end of the night with temperatures down to 4 or 5 degrees. And then tomorrow, more of those showers in store for us. So another lively day, heavy, possibly thundery downpours. There will be some brighter breaks and temperatures peaking at around 13 or 14 degrees through the course of the day on Thursday. Now, finally, tomorrow evening, we start to get a bit of respite. We will see those showers easing away through the overnight spell tomorrow. Temperatures a little cooler than tonight with lows of 3 or 4 degrees. So it is a fresh old start to the day then for Friday. And we will have some cloudy spells with some spells of light rain as well, but eventually some brighter skies developing. And given some sunshine, the wind's easing off, temperatures up to 15. It will feel a little bit warmer. Now, into the weekend. It's a frosty start for some of us first thing on Saturday morning. There will be some sunny spells through the day, largely dry for Saturday, perhaps a bit of rain overnight and into Sunday, but take a look at those temperatures. We're expecting to see them creep up through the course of next week, and it will be above average for the time of year. Into the mid-20s, John, how about that?
Wonderful, and at least all this wind is blowing the air pollution away and the rain is washing it away.
Well, you're the only person, I think, to enjoy that wet and windy.
That's all from us for now. Thank you so much for joining us. Saturday back as normal, 6:30 tomorrow.
Bye-bye.